Salute everybody. Salute. I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Excuse me. Shocking news. Man popped at Drake's home after rat beef goes left. Wow, ain't that something? Also, Akademiks dating a 17-year-old. What's up with that? But before we get into these shocking and breaking news, make sure you hit the like button. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I want to salute everybody that's catching this on the replay. I want to salute everybody that's watching from the clouds. Salute to all of my moderators. Salute to you, him, and her. Salute to all of my new subscribers. I really appreciate y'all. Salute to the whole Rock Squad. Let me salute individual, and then we're going to dive straight into this demonstration. Salute Tammy. Salute Leslie. Salute Sages. Salute 80s baby. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. And a big salute to all of my international subscribers. Salute Katina. I see you down there. Salute Katina. Where do y'all want to start first? Do y'all want to start with salute Suntan? I'm glad you're here, Suntan. Salute, Suntan. I'm glad you caught this. Let's start with the Akademiks. Because you know, with the salute 80s baby, with the Drake, we're going to be here for a long time with that, talking about that, because didn't they learn from Tupac and Biggie? See, here's the thing, and I ain't even going to do a lot of preaching on this demonstration. I ain't even going to do a lot of teaching, and I'm definitely not going to be giving up no free game. I'm just going to be calling a spade a spade. It is what it is. If you're dumb, if you're a big dummy like Lamont on Sanford and Son, that's what I'm going to call you. You big dummy. See, this is the corny stuff. Oh, I forgot. Before I even get started, let me read my disclaimer. I almost jumped into this demonstration without reading my disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everything that you hear in this demonstration is allegedly. It's all allegedly. All right? So I want everybody to know that this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. It's all allegedly. Salute Nola. But back to these big dummies. Back to these Lamont Sanfords. That's the new saying. That's the new slang. And remember, y'all heard it from Shank Rock first. A big dummy, we call them a Lamont Sanford. And in this case, these rappers have got to be some of the biggest dummies that I've ever ran across. For the simple fact, let's take Drake. Drake is a multi-million-dollar platinum artist. Drake has more radio hits. Drake has more radio hits than Jay-Z and Lil Wayne put together. If you count up all of Drake's hits And if you add Lil Wayne's and Jay-Z's, I'm talking about radio hits, y'all. I'm talking about only music, only records that you hear on the radio. Do y'all realize Drake has had, he's had a 15-year run. He's had a 15-year run. No artist from no genre, any genre of music, has had a longer run than Drake. Now, y'all could say what y'all want to say about Drake. Y'all could roast him. Y'all could call him, y'all could hit him with the light-skinned jokes. You know, y'all could hit him with the half black, half white jokes. Y'all can hit him with all of that. Y'all can hit it with Drake. He ain't street enough. Y'all can hit him with all of that. But the one thing that y'all can't take from Drake make hits. Well, he ain't write it. He had a ghostwriter. At the end of the day, he rapped them. The ghostwriter didn't rap it. So, and even when you compare, appreciate the new membership, Miss Parker. Appreciate the new membership, Miss Parker. Salute, Miss Parker. Even when you compare Drake and Kendrick, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Comparing Drake and Kendrick is like comparing Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson. Comparing Drake against Kendrick Lamar is like comparing the sun against the stars. Don't get me wrong. Kendrick Lamar is nice. Kendrick Lamar is nasty. But as Suntan said, it's no comparison. It's just, like I said, you could call Drake whatever you want to call him. But I'm talking when it comes to records. I'm talking about when it comes to music. Salute, Positive Vibes. I'm not talking about nothing else, because at the end of the day, when they are going back and forth with each other, it's about the music. All that other extra stuff don't count. It's about the music. Now, you're going to put Kendrick Lamar, that's like putting a poodle up against a pit bull. I'm talking about hits. I'm talking about records. I'm talking about longevity. How many albums do Kendrick Lamar got? We could start right there. Let's start with how many albums they have. How many albums do Drake have? How many albums do Kendrick Lamar has? As Suntan said, it's no comparison. It's not. It's just no comparison. So now you got Drake. Drake stoops to Kendrick's level. Some people say, appreciate that super chat, Miss Parker. Appreciate that super chat, Miss Parker. Saji says, Kendrick doesn't have any hit for real. I have an entire playlist for Drizzy. Drake is just too good. Bruh, but comparing him to his godfather, Weezy, I ain't gonna agree, big bruh. I feel you, and that's another demonstration, Sages. And I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to Wayne and Drake, I'm going to go with Drake. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to go with Drake. I'm going to base it off of longevity. I'm going to base it off of the amount of hits that they have. Now, comparing Wayne and Drake is a little better. You know, I can understand. Now, if Wayne and Drake, trading, shots at each other, I could definitely understand that. Because regardless of what, Wayne is a heavyweight. Wayne has been stamped official by all the heavyweights. Now, when it comes to when it comes to Kendrick, the only thing that you could really give Kendrick is when the new wave of rappers came in. It was Kendrick, J. Cole, and what's that other rapper name? Lupe, I can't pronounce his name, but the Lupe dude. Those were the three. When all the new wave, when the drill rappers and all of them came in, it was only three rappers that was at the top of the class. That was Kendrick, J. Cole, and Lupe, the Lupe Fiasco dude. Outside of that, I'm just being honest. Kendrick doesn't win nothing. And I know there's a lot of Kendrick Lamar fans in the chat. And y'all are welcome to roast me. Y'all are welcome to join the Positive Vibes bandwagon and roast me. And say, oh man, you don't know what you talking about. But we gonna get into the Kendrick and Drake beef. That's why I'm gonna say that for last. Because we got a lot to talk about when it comes to that. But first, I want to talk about the comments. I want to talk about how DJ Akademiks feel about dating a 17-year-old. Now, of course, and I'm going to play both audios, and I'm going to play audios of other people. But of course, he tried to clean it up. But when you hear his audio, when you hear him, the beginning, he said straight up. He said, I don't care if it's a college kid. I don't care if they 17 years old. They getting smashed. See, that's the problem. And contrary to what we want to believe, we can't blame the white man on this. So I don't want to hear nobody trying to take the blame off of DJ Akademiks, which is a black man. See, before we can hold white people accountable, before we can hold any other nationality accountable of what they do to us, we gotta hold ourselves accountable for what we do to ourselves. This is the behavior. Salute, Raw. I see you, Raw. This is the behavior that we practice. We practice this behavior. When has it been justified for any man to sleep with a 17-year-old girl? She's 17. She's 17. And for those that might say, yeah, Shank, but her body is like an 18-year-old. She got a body of a goddess. Because you know how y'all get. You know how y'all get when it comes to justifying y'all foolishness. But ask yourself this. How would y'all feel if you found out that a 26-year-old man was having sex with your 17-year-old daughter? How would you feel at the end of the day? Because regardless of what, that 17-year-old girl is still the child of somebody. And there's no justification. Now, for DJ Akademiks to make that comment, it makes you wonder why years later, these celebrities, these rappers, etc., is coming out with these accusations. The Ern Hall, he was front and center. A 16-year-old. Salute, Pretty as Eyes. Appreciate you for pulling up, Pretty as Eyes. A 16. This is Ern Hall. This is one of the greatest singers. This is one of the top-notch singers of the New Jack Swing era. When it comes to the 80s, Guy was right under New Edition. Now you got Aaron Hall. Came full-fledged and talked about, and not only did he smash her, he put a seed up in her. But let's get to some audio, y'all. Let's get to some audio. I want to get to some audio. And y'all tell me what y'all think. Now, because it might be some people out there, and ladies, let's be honest, ladies, because then maybe if the ladies can give a perspective on this, maybe it's something that I'm missing. I might be missing something. And if I'm missing something, ladies, put me up on something. Is it okay for a grown man, is it okay for a man to smash, to have sex with a 17-year-old girl? Pretty as Eyes, 80s Babies, Miss Parker, Positive Vibes. Who else we got in here? All the ladies, Suntan, Raw. All the ladies, let me know. Even the ladies that's catching this on the replay. Pretty as Eyes says no, not at all. Raw says no. Now, I can understand a 15-year-old with a 17-year-old. I can understand a 14-year-old with a 16-year-old. 80s said, hell no. I can understand an 18-year-old with a 29-year-old because, believe it or not, 18 is the legal age. Suntan says, I didn't know Drake had so many allegations against him until now. Yeah, Drake got a lot. But now DJ Akademiks, this is DJ Akademiks right here. Now, let me just go to it. Let me go to it.
Is actually acceptable, right? And this is what I have to tell y'all. And to keep it real, if you think about it in the bigger scheme of things, there's not much difference between a 20 or a 17 or a 21 and a 17. Just kind of mean one's a minor and one's not a minor. But I will say, listen, I adopted this rule, which I think was fine. I said, listen, man, as long as a chick got a college ID, she's getting f***ed. I don't care if she's 17. I don't care if she's 17 and a half. I don't care if she just turned 17. She's going to get this dick. This is the context. And this is what's important. At no point did I ever say that I fucked somebody under 17 or under 18. I was given an example of how, and I want to give y'all this example.
Now, y'all tell me. So, he makes this statement. He don't care if she's 17, long as she got a college ID. Because there are some college kids that are 17 when they in college. So, he stated, as long as they got a college ID, so he's basing it off of, well, they're in college. And if they're old enough to be in college, they're old enough to get smashed. Right, Pretty as Eyes. So now he comes back to try to clean it up, to say, well, I didn't say that I had sex with a 17-year-old. I said that if she, what's the difference? I mean, nice try, nice underhand jab. That's what I call it. Nice curveball. When your ass said you didn't care if she was 17, that's the same as if smashing her. Come on, man. Come on. Let's listen now. Because he's trying to clean it up. He's trying to clean it up.
Under 17 or under 18, I was given an example of how, and I want to give y'all this example before I play this whole clip. I'm going to play the full clip. I said, in college, people, I said 17 becomes a gray area because people don't ask for IDs. There's some
Listen,
smart, or sometimes people start kindergarten early and they'll get to college when they're about to turn 18, but they'll turn 18 in January and they get there in September. When somebody's in college, and just like I say with high school, when somebody's in high school, if a nigga was in high school, I know somebody, and maybe I shouldn't say that, but I'm just gonna be real. I know somebody who he had just turned 18 and he was dating like someone in a lesser class. That this is high school. There's people who end up being 18 in high school. I was talking about being in an institution, so college or high school, where the ages are or a little bit out of what is actually acceptable, right? And this is what I have to tell y'all, right? Somebody just said 4 months of the college year, some people are 17. It depends on when you're born. You know, that's all I was saying. When people go to college, and you'll hear in my full clip, people do not check IDs. No one in college, and if y'all ever been to college, no one says, hey, how old are you? I've been to college. They're usually under the assumption, by the way, if you're in college, at least if you're doing 4 years, you're probably not over 21. Usually. Right? Those people usually assume that the people they're dating or they're dealing with are of age.
that's
Usually,
not
like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I never used my license.
that's not what you said, man. Let me run it back. Let's run it back. All right? And y'all tell me if y'all heard the same thing that I've heard. That's not what he said. He trying to clean it up. That's not what you said. Let's run it back. And this is what he said.
And to keep it real, if you think about it in the bigger scheme of things, there's not much difference between a 20 or a 17 or a 21 and a 17. Just kind of mean one's a minor and one's not a minor. But I will say, listen, I adopted this rule, which I think was fine. I said, listen, man, as long as a chick got a college ID, she's getting I don't care if she's 17. I don't care if she's 17 and a half.
What'd he say? What'd he say? What'd he say? I'm going to run it back one more again. Listen to what he said.
And to keep it real, if you
Salute Eye of the Storm. I see you, Eye of the Storm. Salute Eye of the Storm.
think about it in the bigger scheme of things, there's not much difference between a 20 or a 17 or a
He said it ain't a difference between a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old. Let's listen.
21 and a 17. Just kind of mean one's a minor and one's not a minor.
One's a minor and one's not a minor. So there is a difference.
But I will say, listen, I adopted this rule, which I think was fine. I said, listen, man.
Now, he said he adopted this rule that he think is fine. Listen to his rule.
As long as a chick got a college ID, she's getting I don't care if she's 17.
As long as a chick got a college ID, she getting smashed. I don't care if she's 17. Listen.
I don't care if she's 17 and a half. I don't care if she just turned 17. She's going to get this dick.
I don't care if she's 17 and a half. I don't care if she just turned 17. She's going to get this D. Suntan says these people are trying to make excuses for their foul play. I do understand a teenage girl may date someone a year or so older, but that gap difference is a no-no. And that's facts. Out of the Storm says talking about looking compromised. Now, I can understand in some cases, yes, females lie about their age. It happens all the time. But for you to blatantly, for you to just straight up say, I don't care. So that means you knowingly knows that she just turned 17. See, it's a difference if you get catfished. It's a difference if they got a fake ID. All that's a difference. All that you could be like, well, she did have a fake ID. You know, but he specifically said he don't care if she just turned 17. If she's 17 and a half, she getting this D. Now we gonna watch how he tries to clean it up. Salute Blue Devil. Salute Blue Devil G. I see you.
The context. And this is what's important. At no point did I ever say that I fucked somebody under 17 or under 18. I was given an example of how, and I want to give y'all this example before I play this whole clip. I'm going to play the full clip. I said in college, I said 17 becomes a gray area because people don't ask for IDs.
Did he say that? Did he say that? Did y'all hear in the clip that I cut running back? Did y'all hear anything about a gray area? Did y'all hear him mention anything about a gray area? Nigga, you lying. You, Lamont Sanford. Let's listen though.
There's some smart, or sometimes people start kindergarten early and they'll get to college when they're about to turn 18, but they'll turn 18 in January and they get there in September. When somebody's in college, and just like I say with high school, when somebody's in high school, if a nigga was in high school, I know somebody, and maybe I shouldn't say that, but I'm just going to be real. I know somebody who he had just turned 18 and he was dating like someone in a lesser class. That this is high school. There's people who end up being 18 in high school. I was talking about being in an institution, so college or high school, where the ages are or a little bit out of what is actually acceptable, right? And this is what I have to tell y'all, right? Somebody just said 4 months of the college year, some people are 17. It depends on when you're born. You know, that's all I was saying. When people go to college, and you'll hear in my full clip, people do not check IDs. No one in college, and if y'all ever been to college, no one says, hey, how old are you? I've been to college. They're usually under the assumption, by the way, if you're in college, at least if you're doing 4 years, you're probably not over 21. Usually, right? Those people usually assume that the people they're dating or they're dealing with are of age. They usually, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I never used my license.
So now DJ Akademiks responding back to the clip that came out. He said it was from years ago when he was talking about, like, the difference between 21-year-old and 17-year-old is not that much.
Y'all tell me what y'all think. And since we're going to be chopping it up about Drake, as Suntan said, like that girl telling Drake she was 17 at his concert and he continued to kiss on her. See, I mean, the girl told him she was 17.
Hey, but nigga, did y'all seeing how the bitch is trying to defend this little weird shit on the stage, nigga? Amidst the whole Lil Drake and Kendrick Lamar feud, serious allegation of pedophilia have been made against Drake, and he was freaky as fuck in that video. A video from 2010 resurfaced showing Drake dancing with a fan, asked her age. The fan was 17 at the time. Tia Owens, the fan in the video, addressed the situation on Instagram. No, he did.
He asked her on stage.
And she said 17. And then he kissed her in the mouth.
And he kissed her after that?
Yeah. Yes, nigga. Fuck you mean?
Damn.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Why Drake ain't getting charged? See, so when it comes to the P. Diddy, and I know this demonstration is not about P. Diddy, but it starts to make you wonder. Also, I know this is not about R. Kelly, but it starts to make you wonder. See, now, keep in mind, when they're ready to disconnect Drake, mark my words, when they're ready to come for Drake, that old video of him asking that girl how old she was, I bet y'all it's going to somehow resurface, and I bet y'all that girl, if she's not already preparing to bring charges against him, I bet she will then. Y'all see the game? Do y'all see the game? And the game is so easy to see in the game is so easy to figure out. But the problem is, you Lamont Sanfords, that's the problem. You Lamont Sanfords are born every second. That video is already out, and the girl made a statement about that. Blue Devil says they going down the pipeline. Who's next? Who's seen the statements? What did the girl say, Positive Vibes? What did the girl have to say? And drop a one. Drop a one if y'all think that Drake. Because we got to stop choosing and picking those who we want to see get locked up and those who we don't. Suntan says she has already spoken up saying it was innocent. She's 31 now, I believe. And see, in my opinion, you do have to hold the 17-year-old accountable. That's just my opinion. I think that regardless of the age, 17, 16, 15, 14, I believe if she willingly, engaged in sexual activity with a grown man, I do believe that the grown man definitely should be charged with Sagittarius rape. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, the R word. But I do believe that they're just as guilty as that man. And I do believe that there are a lot of teenagers out here that are just fast. Fast in the ass. But my thing is, when it comes to us men, like I said, I've had on occasions, I've had 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds pushing their line at me, trying to get at me. And the dad took her to the concert. See, it goes back to the R. Kelly situation. Like, why are these parents? Somebody tell me, why are these parents, Usher, mother, let her 13-year-old son go live with a grown man that she didn't know nothing about? She said, well, I did my homework on him. Well, obviously you ain't do enough homework. Obviously you did the minimum of homework. So as pretty as I said, these parents are at fault. I'm not letting my underage kid go live with no man, no woman that's an adult. The only time a parent does that is when it's something that they can get out of it. Because I'll say it again. If Shank Rock, when Usher was 13, if Shank Rock said to Usher's mother, can you let him come and live with me and I'll make sure he become famous, what do y'all think the outcome would have been? She'd have done her homework. See, she done her homework all right on P. Diddy. But the homework that she done wasn't the homework to at least determine whether this man might harm my little boy. Right? The homework that she done on PD was P. Diddy rolling in that dough. And that's the only reason why. That's the only reason why she allowed Usher to go live with P. Diddy. Because she done her homework. Yeah, she done her homework all right. And the same way with the 17-year-old girl whose father took her to that concert. The father was supposed to have jumped on that stage and snatched his daughter away from Drake. And then that father was supposed to have pressed charge. And that's why people have been saying this for the longest time. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong. It all starts at home. It don't start with the police department. We know who the police is. We know what they there for. The police ain't there to raise our kids. Now I could speak in defense of the police. When it comes to that, the police ain't there to raise our kids. The teachers ain't there to raise our kids. It don't make a difference if it's President Biden or President Trump. They're not there to raise our kids. That's our job. That's our job. What are we teaching our children in our homes? See, this what needs to be addressed. What are you teaching? And I don't want to hear, don't worry about what I'm teaching my child, Shank Ralph. What you teaching your child? What are you teaching your child? I'm talking about you. What are you teaching your child? That's where it starts at. Do you got your child playing video games? I can promise you 9 out of 10 that's watching this, let the video games babysit their child. If I'm lying, I'm flying. It's a problem. See? It's a problem. I'm only keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. So back to DJ Akademiks. Y'all heard the audio. Y'all heard what he said. And then y'all heard him try to clean it up. Salute, Tracy. I see you, Tracy. Salute. That's how you know he fouled. Right there. Go back to old Rising. Exactly. But that's how you know he on some foul-ish. Why? He tried to clean it up, and he didn't even do a good job of cleaning it up. We're going to move on. We're going to move on. J. Cole touches your heart. Kendrick touches your soul. Drake touches your kids. We're going to move on to the Drake and Kendrick beef. And I'm sure most of y'all have heard, but if you haven't heard, someone was shot. Someone was pow-pow at Drake's home. We're going to get into that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to run DJ Akademiks joint again because I see we got some new people that pulled up. And right after we run the DJ Akademiks clip of him talking about if she's 17, she getting the D.
You sure you want to do this?
Big breath in and out.
That much. He said, based on
between a 20 or a 7. There's not much difference between. And to keep it real, if you think about it in the bigger scheme of things, there's not much difference between a 20 or a 17 or a 21 and a 17. Just kind of mean one's a minor and one's not a minor. But I will say, listen, I adopted this rule, which I think was fine. I said, listen, man, as long as a chick got a college ID, she's getting I don't care if she's 17. I don't care if she's 17 and a half. I don't care if she just turned 17. She's going to get this dick. This is the context. And this is what's...
Now, that was the statement. He said, don't make a difference. If she just turned 17, she getting the D. Listen to how he tried to clear it up.
It's important. At no point did I ever say that I fucked somebody under 17 or under 18. I was given an example of how, and I want to give y'all this example before I play this whole clip. I'm going to play the full clip. I said, in college, I said 17 becomes a gray area because people don't ask for IDs. There's some smart, or sometimes people start kindergarten early, and they'll get to college when they're about to turn 18, but they'll turn 18 in January, and they get there in September. When somebody's in college, and just like I say with high school, when somebody's in high school, if a nigga was in high school, I know somebody, and maybe I shouldn't say that, but I'm just gonna be real. I know somebody who he had just turned 18 and he was dating like someone in a lesser class. That this is high school. There's people who end up being 18 in high school. I was talking of being in an institution, so college or high school, where the ages are or a little bit out of what is actually acceptable, right? And this is what I have to tell y'all, right? Somebody just said 4 months of the college year, some people are 17. It depends on when you're born. You know, that's all I was saying. When people go to college, and you'll hear in my full clip, people do not check IDs. No one in college, and if y'all ever been to college, no one says, hey, how old are you? I've been to college. They're usually under the assumption, by the way, if you're in college, at least if you're doing 4 years, you're probably not over 21. Usually, right? Those people usually assume that the people they're dating or they're dealing with are of age. They usually, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I never used my license.
So now DJ Akademiks responding back to...
Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm with Raw. I'm with RAW. Row left. Cat. He lying. Let's move on to this Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef.
Shut it down.
Now, apparently, someone was pow at Drake's home. Let's get into this.
I don't need the world seeing. Shut that down.
Someone on Twitter said it's time for Cat Williams to close the portals of hate because, wow. 2024 has been a massive year of reckoning for some of the highly idolized faves in pop culture. And despite them astrologers having earmarked Drake's imminent downfall already, it's definitely surprising to see him being on such a tight and panicked defense since rising up to become the best-selling rapper of all time. But despite a blockbuster pop career that has broken records in an undefeated run that has outlasted even his most lionized rivals, it seems Drake's dominance is finally letting up. And it's all thanks to this ongoing beef with Kendrick Lamar, which many have now declared is one of the greatest beefs of all time. Right up there with Tupac and Biggie, Jay-Z and Nas.
All right, so apparently it happened at Drake's home in Toronto.
Showing up on the first page of Google might not be the best for everyone.
We begin with a shooting in the Bridle Path that sent one person to hospital with serious injuries. The violence happening outside of the home owned by rapper Drake. And that's where we find our Karen Seolan on Park Lane Circle. Karen, what is the latest here?
Yeah, FISA police confirmed that they are investigating a shooting that happened just outside Drake's mansion in Toronto's Bridle Path neighborhood. What we know so far is that shots rang out around 2 o'clock this morning and that a man police have said was not Drake was struck. He was seriously injured and taken to hospital, but fortunately he is expected to survive. Now, details are very limited at this point. This is about as close as we can get to the scene. As you can see, police have taped off the entire property as well as some properties neighboring Drake's mansion. There are several orange evidence markers on the ground outside the main entrance gate where it actually appears this shooting might have taken place. Now, I did speak with a woman who lives next door and she didn't want to appear on camera. However, she told me that she didn't hear anything unusual happening last night. She says this is actually a relatively quiet street, even given her neighbor, and she was quite surprised, Fiza, to be waking up to such a heavy police presence.
Aaron, I know that we are expecting an update from investigators at some point today, and we'll bring you that right here on City News 24/7. I'm wondering if you're hearing about any details regarding suspects at this point.
Yeah, so right now, police will only say that the suspects fled in a vehicle. As you mentioned, we are expecting an update from investigators really at any time here at the scene, and we will bring that to you live. The timing is suspicious to some. Some are speculating that this might be connected.
How many of y'all think that it could be connected to the beef with Kendrick? Don't Cap says, I think the Drake shooting got something to do with the beef he got with the Weeknd, because one of the Weeknd's homies' house got shot up last week. Santan says, we know it's some BS. Don't Cap. I'm from LA. We ain't doing all that for what? All right, let's go to live coverage.
Digital agencies, listen up. Duda introduces the power of web.
A vehicle was involved and then fled the scene. That will be part of our investigation, but again, we're very early on. I don't have that information. Don't have that information.
In the incident, did it look like the security guard was the target? Were they trying to get past him?
Don't know at this time. Yes. Yes. Nope, not at this time. No, because we're dealing with video quality issues, correct? So we, as we have information and we're able to analyze video better, then we'll be able to provide more information. I haven't even walked up to the scene, so I can't comment. No, that's going to be part of the investigation. Can't comment at this time. Thank you very much.
That concludes today's conference. No problem, I can do that. That concludes today's conference. Thank you for attending.
So as of right now, we know that it was a security guard. We know that it was a security guard. As of right now, it didn't happen inside the home. It happened outside of the home. Let's see what else I could pull. So now we definitely know it's going to be a lot of shit talking going back and forth now. Don't Cap says BBL Drizzy the type of boy to set all this ish up to play the victim card. And that would be a hell of a play. When it comes to play running, oh man, this would go down in the Guinness Book of Records as the biggest play running. This right here. Let's see what else I can find, y'all. Let's see what Beehive talking about.
What's up, fam? It's your boy Beehive back on the check-in with an update on this whole Drake shooting outside of his home. Now, according to TMZ, they're saying that their sources now confirm the injured person is a member of Drake's security team. Police have yet to say if they believe the shooting is related to the Kendrick Lamar feud, but they revealed that the victim suffered a gunshot wound to the upper chest, and it appears to have been a drive-by attack. Cops say the suspect in question fled in a vehicle, although there's no official description available at this point. Police have taped off the area, and there are boots on the ground. The shooting appears to be tied to Drake explicitly, as there's video of officers on his actual property that are starting to float around via local media outlets. Many are already jumping to the conclusion that this may be part of the very public beef that he's in with Kendrick Lamar right now. However, we don't know what's going on with that. Man, that's kind of crazy right there, man. You know what?
Once again, for Drake, and I like Drake records. Drake, and this is just my opinion, Drake, he reminds me of Ja Rule when it comes to making records. Now, for everybody that was around during the time of Ja Rule, y'all remember, Ja Rule had it on lock. Ja Rule was in his own lane. You had rappers like DMX. You had other rappers like Biggie. You had these rappers like the Locks, Fabulous, and so on and so on. They were rapping hardcore. They was, bang, bang, shoot 'em up type records. But Ja Rule was making rap and R&B records. Ja Rule was in his own lane. Reminds me of Drake. Right? Now, 50 comes. Here come 50. Here come the big bad wolf. And I said this when Ja made that clapback song. I said, as long as Ja do not feed into 50, because 50 was a troll before we knew what trolling was. You know what I'm talking about? Positive Vibes and everybody else, Pretty as Eyes and Blue Devil G and 80s Baby. 50 was a troll. And in the YouTube streets, what's the best thing to do to a troll? Never address that troll. Stay as far away from that troll as you can. When somebody come at you and they trolling, ignore them. So 50 come through trolling. He trolled the hell out of Ja Rule. And Ja Rule did what? Ja Rule bit the bait. He took the bait. And he stepped out of his lane. And he stepped into an unfamiliar lane. He went into unfamiliar territory. And it cost Ja Rule's career. When he came with that clap back, he lost all his fans. Is that what's happening now with Drake? Drake, you already bodied Meek Mill. You bodied the hell out of Meek Mill. You ain't had to do nothing else. You didn't have to entertain no more rap beefs. You went down in history as one of the greatest rapper to end, because he ended, if y'all remember, he ended Meek Mill's career. And what did Meek Mill have to do? Meek Mill had to get Drake on one of his records. Drake bodied Meek Mill so bad, he made Meek Mill feature him on his own record and called the Truce. That's all you had to do, Drake. Now you're stepping in unfamiliar territory with Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is a different beast. Kendrick Lamar is not Meek Mill's. See, Meek Mill's been taking L's one after another. So even though we credit you with destroying Meek Mill's, Kendrick Lamar is not a Meek Mill's. Now, there's some people saying that Drake started it. Some people saying that some people saying Kendrick Lamar started it. Who started this rap beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar? Who knows the answer to that? Who knows the answer? How did it start? Let's check out. Let's see what the streets are saying.
Early on in Kendrick's career, early on in Drake's career, they worked together. They were cordial. Kendrick was on Take Care.
I'm feeling like a suicidal terrorist, react like an infant whenever you are mentioned. Mind over matter never worked for my nemesis.
Drake was on Good Kid, Mad City. And it was kind of cool. They're cool. Nothing heinous towards each other.
Really hope you play this, cause oh girl, you test my patience with all these seductive photographs and all these one-off vacations.
But obviously Kendrick did the Control verse with Big Sean and Jay Electronica, and he called out a lot of people: J. Cole, Meek Mill, Wale, Mac Miller, Tyler, a lot of people, and he called out Drake.
But this is hip hop, and them niggas should know what time it is. And there goes for Jamaica, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake.
But Drake was the one that seemed to really catch feelings off of that. It was like, nobody's gonna ever work with him. And basically,
so as we could see, Kendrick called out Drake first. How did it go from Kendrick and Drake making records together on each album? How did it go from that to Kendrick Lamar taking shots at Drake? Some people might say, nah, Shank, he wasn't taking no shots at Kendrick. I mean, he wasn't taking no shots at Drake. He was shouting them out. Nah, man. Do y'all know what a shot is? Do y'all know what a subliminal message is? Do y'all know when somebody taking a shot at you? Do you know when somebody taking a shot at you? Because I know when people take shots at me. Listening to that, Kendrick took a shot at not only Drake, he took a shot at some other rappers as well. Some people say, but the other rappers didn't get in their feelings about it. Why did Drake get in his feelings? Drake shouldn't have gotten his feelings about it. See, that's our problem. We always telling somebody else how they should feel when somebody does something to them. Y'all notice that? We quick to tell somebody, a person quick to tell you how to respond when somebody do something to you. But why not let that person respond how they want to respond? He was taking shots at everybody in Control. Collab said, Don't Cap says, that Kendrick Control verse is a classic. He took a shot at the whole rap scene. Right. Ross says, something had to have happened behind the scenes, in my opinion. Because something had happened behind the scenes. That's a good observation, Raw. That's a good observation.
it was like, you know, I don't mess with this guy. And then Kendrick came back again, if you recall, on the BET Cypher.
I'm about to crack the Da Vinci Code, yeah, and nothing been the same since they dropped Control and cut the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. Ha ha, joke's on you.
See, now that's overdoing it. You see, Kendrick overdoing it. Come on now. You come on. Kendrick, in my opinion, Kendrick overdone it.
A shot at Drake there, and then it's kind of been like a back and forth of like subliminals, nothing super direct. And then Kendrick came back recently, a couple months ago, on Like That, the Metro Boomin Future song.
Yeah, get up with me. Sneak this in first person shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches.
Now, this is not confirmed or anything like that, but a lot of people speculate that Kendrick was supposed to be on first person shooter with Drake and J. Cole, you know, the whole Big Three thing. And Kendrick may have even alluded to it on Euphoria, where he said, you know, I might have missed that feature request. You know, there's some stuff we have to address. So that may have alluded to that. But a lot of people speculate that it started over Kendrick being like, I don't want to be on first person shooter, and Drake feeling the type of way about that. And Kendrick basically coming on like that, taking direct shots at Drake.
Motherfucker, big three. Nigga, it's just big me. Nigga, boom. I'm really like that. And your best work is a left pack. Nigga, Prince outlive my jack. Nigga, boom.
And then it comes to, you know, where we are now with Drake dropping push-ups.
You ain't in no big three. SZA got you white down. Travis got you white down. Savage got you white down.
The Taylor Made freestyle.
Since like that, your tone changed a little. You not as enthused. How are you not in the booth? It feel like you kind of removed. You trying to let this shit die down. Nah.
And obviously Kendrick coming back with Euphoria. And now 616 in LA.
If you was street smart, then you would have caught that your entourage is only to hustle you. 100 niggas that you got on salary, and 20 of them want you as a casualty.
That's kind of the short history of him too.
See, me, I'm all for a good battle. I'm all for a good competition if it stays on records. If it stays, but let's be honest. When has the last rap beef stayed on records? Jay-Z and Nas, they stayed on records. But do y'all know how many rappers, do y'all know how many people in these rappers' entourage has lost their lives, have went to prison behind this? The Young Dolph and Yo Gotti. When you got casualties, when the casualties, see, for me, it's too much money involved. Now, rap beefs always end badly, in my opinion. Correct. Kumo D versus LL Cool J, LL and Cat Madonna. I mean, people houses getting shot up, security guards getting shot.
Create something that's a long-standing feud between rap artist Drake and Kendrick Lamar is once again heating up after the release of diss tracks back to back, and we really mean back to back to back to back. In a flurry of activity, the two artists have now put out 8 songs in the past month, but where and when did it start, and what's behind it? NBC News correspondent Valerie Castro breaks down the conflict. A war of words turning into a full-blown feud between two of the biggest names in rap, Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
The Pulitzer Prize winner is definitely spiraling.
The two longtime rivals battling it out in a matter of days, releasing 8 new songs, one after the other, with the intensity heating up over the weekend.
They're really poets. They're really two people who have the ability to see, listen, and then spit back lyrics that are very intriguing for people.
The lyrical blows now including serious allegations. Drake accusing Lamar of domestic violence, and Lamar accusing Drake of relationships with young underage women.
Say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young.
NBC News reached out to both Drake and Lamar for comment, but have not heard back. Drake denying being with minors in a new track this weekend.
Drake is not a name that you don't see on no sex offender list.
The musical brawl believed to date back to more than a decade ago when the two first collaborated with each other, then turned against each other. The controversy also including other big names in the industry. Megan Thee Stallion's song Hiss fueling speculation she dissed both Drake and Nicki Minaj. Drake even pulling pop darling Taylor Swift into the conversation, mocking Lamar's past collaborations with her.
Let me need a verse for the Swifties.
And Drake not stopping there. The Canadian rapper doubling down with a second song featuring AI versions of Snoop Dogg and Tupac, two of Lamar's longtime role models.
Now, I didn't like that record. Have y'all heard that record with Drake, allegedly Tupac, and allegedly Snoop? I don't believe that that was either one of them. I don't believe that that was Snoop, and I damn sure don't believe that that was Tupac. I mean, let's just be honest now. Tupac, with all the mystery that's surrounding Tupac's death, it's so many other incidents, it's so many other events that Tupac could have made a record, made a song and we didn't hear nothing. Now we hear a song that's allegedly Tupac on that song. They could miss me with that. And I'm gonna keep it 100. Drake, you wrong for that. You wrong for that. You don't play like that. Honestly, you don't play like that. That, to me, when I heard that record, it was a disrespect to Tupac. I'm being honest with you. You know, you could have definitely, in my opinion, you didn't need that to go at Kendrick. And this is what I'm saying when you entertain the BS. Even when, because I've been caught in BS. And I've seen how when I react and I entertain fools, I see how ignorant it made me look. So, Drake, you didn't have to do that. Did anybody else hear that record with Drake and allegedly Tupac and Snoop? If y'all heard it, let me know whether or not y'all liked it. I didn't like the song at all. I knew it wasn't pop. And then when it got the Snoop verse, I knew it wasn't Snoop. I knew it wasn't pop. All the events that took place, it's been 30-something years since the death of Pac. And Pac waits to do a verse with Drake. I wasn't buying that. I wasn't buying that by a long shot. When y'all get a chance, listen to it and come back and tell me what y'all think. Tell me if y'all liked it or not. Haha, no disrespect, but are you from Baltimore? Yeah, I'm from Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore.
Hey, if you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you're struggling with your dog, Mango Dogs can help.
Let me say, oh, it's the battle of the two hip-hop heavyweights you can dance to.
My left stroke just went viral.
In one corner from Compton, the Pulitzer Prize and Grammy Award-winning Kendrick Lamar.
Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now.
In the other, Toronto's very own Drake, one of the most successful rappers of all time.
Where did these be at when they say they doing all this and all that?
They've been trading insults for years, but the feud escalated over the weekend with new songs from Lamar taking aim at Drake's parenting and accusing him of bullying. Drake responded with Family Matters.
Always rapping like you about to get the slaves free. You just acting like an activist is make-believe.
But with the song Not Like Us, Lamar leveled some of his most serious allegations.
Say Drake, I hate you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1.
Which led to a diss track from Drake denying dating minors.
A lot of people have been calling this one of the biggest weekends in hip-hop.
While he's disappointed in the direction Canadian rapper Shad says battling is integral to hip-hop.
It's about the excitement and the audience and their enjoyment and the spectacle of it. But it is deeply competitive.
It's really coming down to mudslinging.
This DJ says rappers are targeting Drake because he's an outsider.
You have a mixed-race Canadian artist who started out as an actor, became a rapper, and has been on top, literally, since, for the last 13 years.
Animal fans wait for the next move. The Toronto Chinese restaurant Lamar singled out.
It could be a new king eating fried rice with a dip sauce.
And I'm gonna call a spade a spade. I think when it comes to hip hop, I think when it comes to rap, I think we can become very hypocritical. I think we could become hypocrites. Salute to Full Life. Like he was saying, he said with Drake being considered an outsider, he's not from the US. But what does that mean? Should hip-hop, should rappers, and y'all help me understand this, should rappers be only from a hood in the United States of America? Let's nip this in the bud. Because when I grew up, hip hop wasn't biased. Well, it was. But in the very beginning, it wasn't, because the only rappers was from New York. And this is what the East Coast and West Coast beef was all about. Ain't had nothing to do with Pop. Pop was locked up. Ain't even had nothing to do with Biggie. But this is what the East Coast and West Coast beef was about. It was about New York. Because it wasn't about the whole East Coast. Because New York was biased. New York was prejudiced towards everybody outside of New York. A few Jersey people got on. You know, a few people from Connecticut got on. But this is true. For those that's from New York, y'all got to take y'all charge. Y'all were biased. And this is one of the biggest problems in hip hop. This is one of the biggest problems in rap. Even country music now, I think it's wrong that country folks, and I'm not going to say country folks, but I think it's wrong for them to try to deny Beyonce, because remember, they tried to deny Little Nas X. Y'all remember that? They tried to deny his remake of that Old Town song that he done. So now you got Beyonce. So now they're being mainly white folks. And this is why I say black folks and white folks and people all around the world, y'all need to get y'all shit together. And y'all need to stop acting like y'all shit don't stink. Because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the prejudice. I'm tired of the racist. I'm tired of this nationality feeling like they the best and all of this. I'm tired of this nationality holding down this nationality. That's why we in the condition that we in today, because it's a bunch of hypocrites. So let's come back. Now you got Drake. Because I remember when Drake was running the radio, people were taking shots at Drake. Oh, Drake ain't no real rapper. Oh, Drake ain't hood enough. Why you gotta be hood to make a record? Why you gotta be a hood, a person to make a good record? I respect somebody that's not hood, that's proud of who they are and stay in their own lane. I respect them quicker than I respect somebody that's trying to be hood, because contrary to what y'all believe, most people that you see that's pushing that hood narrative, they not hood. They not streets. I'm keeping it 100. You could tell a person from the streets. You could tell a person from the hood. They don't want no parts of that shit. They really don't. They so low key because they understand it. They understand it. They not walking around here with their chest on swole, trying to get everybody to believe that they this big hood nigga. If you hood, the people gonna know you hood. If you street, the people gonna know you street. We used to do that when we was teenagers. But we was teenagers. Once we hit like 17, 18, and 19, and we started making money, we was like, we put all that punk shit away. That was for suckers. Yo, we gonna get this money. And that's where I'm at with this Kendrick and Drake's beef. Both of y'all are making money. Both of y'all goes down in history as two of the greatest rappers of all time. What you beefing for? What you mad about? This shit is corny. But because you got the majority of these ignorant people out here that's feeding this, you got the majority of the people that's being entertained by this punk shit, this sucker shit. That's what it is. Y'all getting in the way of real players. Y'all getting in the way of real people that's out here getting money. Y'all making it hot. And y'all don't gotta make it hot. Get your money. I could care less what you think about Shank Rap. Make all the diss records you want to make about me. When you know better, you do better. Now, Drake house get shot up. The security guard get wounded. Now, who's going to benefit off of this? So the question is, was it a play? Was it a play? Drake battling rappers is like Taylor Swift versus Cardi B. It just doesn't sound exactly, and that's all I'm saying. It's like, Drake, you banged up Meek Mills. You ain't had to. It's like you knock out the bully of the block. Yo, you set for life. Drake, you body Meek Mill. You ain't had to battle nobody. You would have earned more stripes by not even entertaining Kendrick, because everybody would have knew what it was. Everybody would have been on Kendrick like, boy, you know you don't want to get Drake started. Boy, you know, Drake, you would have been here. And we talk about this all the time, knowing not to entertain the BS. I see y'all down there. Salute Tommy. Tommy says, since it came from nowhere at all, I assume it's clout. That's what it seems like. See, so Drake can't lose. So it's like, okay, now it's set up like, you know he gonna talk shit. You know Drake gonna talk shit now. But is it worth it? We talking about Drake, y'all. We talking about Drake. I say it again, and I'm willing to debate anybody. When it comes to radio hits, nobody got more radio hits than Drake. Jay-Z and Lil Wayne put together, I'm talking radio hits. Nobody got more radio hits than Drake. The boy been running the radio for the last 12, 13 years. Consistently. Shank coming soon. Beehive versus Taylor. I mean, come on, y'all. Tommy says he behaving 2 and 3 hits at the same time. I mean, we talking Drake, y'all. We talking Drake. All that, like I said, all that calling them corny and lame. Man, go ahead with all of that. Yeah, like I said, give me a corny and lame person that's comfortable and know who they are and get the job done. I take that person over somebody that's trying to be hood, somebody that's trying to be streets but can't get a damn thing done. I've been around a lot of those. That's why I say it all the time. Give me the corny and lame ones. Because in reality, they really not corny and lame. In reality, they get shit done. Put me around those that get shit done. Don't put me around them wannabe hood and street niggas that don't get a damn thing done. I can't take that hood shit to the bank and cash it in. I can't take that street shit to the bank and cash it in.
Police confirming a shooting occurred outside the home of Canadian rapper Drake in Toronto. This happening overnight in the wake of an escalating beef between Drake and hip-hop star Kendrick Lamar. This is the scene outside of Drake's home in the city's Bridle Path neighborhood, courtesy of our CTV News chopper. Police say a man sustained serious injuries after a shooting outside that home and was taken to hospital. Police also say a suspect fled in a vehicle, but no description has been released. So far, there's no word on whether Drake was at home at the time of the shooting, but we understand from police that he has offered to fully cooperate with them. Joining me now is Mark Mendelson. He is a former homicide detective, and he joins us now to discuss the developments in this case. As Mark, we're waiting for more word from police. Details are very scant right now. But what do you make of this shooting? This, for our viewers across the country, is known as the Bridle Path, this neighborhood. It's got a lot of mansions, but it's pretty open. It's not as though it's a gated area.
Yeah, and good morning, Marcia. You're right. It's not a gated area, but there are very, very large homes in that neighborhood. You know, and what goes along with large homes like that is a lot of security cameras and other security precautions that are taking place. And if you ever have the opportunity to drive past Drake's residence, you'll notice that there are gates and there are walls and there is sort of strategically placed trees, etc., to provide security. And there are also uniformed security guards at the residence. And it's my understanding from a source within Toronto Police that, in fact, it is a security guard who is the victim of the shooting, who was working at the time. It was described to me as a drive-by shooting. And as you mentioned, the police have put out a suspect vehicle. So that's all we really know at the...
This shit corny, man. This shit corny. This shit corny.
This point, as you fairly stated, we don't know if Drake is at home, if he's in the country, or wherever. And now what the police are going to be doing is looking at the motivation behind this shooting. Again, there's lots of security cameras in all kinds of homes around that area, lots of security guards in other homes as well, and patrols. So they may have information of investigative value as well. But they'll be looking for the motivation. And of course, Marcia, in the backdrop of all of this is this sort of feud that's been going on, as you mentioned, with Lamar, in terms of who's dropping songs and who is disrespecting the other one. And as early as this morning, somebody actually went on Google Maps and re-tagged Drake's residence as Lamar's residence. So it's this feud going on. Now, whether this is all for clicks or for publicity, nobody knows at this point. But it really...
that's what it sounds like. For clicks and views. Because what was the purpose? Nah, R. Kelly don't got more hits than no Drake. R. Kelly got hits, but R. Kelly wasn't a rapper. R. Kelly isn't a rapper. So I'm referring to rappers. Now R. Kelly got hits, but I'm referring to rappers. No rapper. Let me clarify that. Let me clear that up. No rapper has more radio hits than Drake. But back to what my man said, because what, man, this shit corny, man. This shit corny, man. Seriously, man. This shit corny, man.
It doesn't take anything more than somebody being offended by what they're seeing or reading to decide that they're going to take things into their own hands and commit this crime. And that's what the police will be looking at now. So it's very early on in the investigation. Lots of good security tape to look at. You have a living witness in this security guard that's been shot. I'm sure that when he's able to speak, he will speak, and he'll be interviewed by the police. And we'll have to go from there.
Okay, and I just want to say, Mark, this is unconfirmed that it was the security guard. We're still waiting to hear officially from police. We expect them to be scrumming, hopefully, with reporters outside of that scene shortly, very shortly. I do want to ask you how police investigate something like this when a high-profile celebrity is involved.
Ross says, Eye of the Storm says corny. Don't Cap says, I just researched R. Kelly has 8 #1 hits and Drake has 13 #1 hits and it's still counting. Eye of the Storm says corny. Salute Eye of the Storm. Ross says, how does the news know if it has something to do with the beef? That's always irritated me with the media and hip hop. That's true, Raw. That's true. Don't Cap says Drake got 29 #1 singles and Lil Wayne and Kanye got 11 #1 hits. And that's all I'm saying. Drake got 29 and still counting. You got to give it to the boy. And one thing that we don't do over here on the Rock Squad, we do not hate. We congratulate. You got to give Drake his flowers. Don't Cat says Drake is way in the lead. That's facts. Blue Devil says, Shank, you think this looks like a play? Honestly, Blue Devil G, I think like this is a play. Now, I could be wrong, but I think this is a play. Now, who is the play runner? That's going to be the $1 million question. Because it don't necessarily had to been Drake behind the play. Could have been somebody else behind the play. But I think this is a play right here, y'all. I think this is a play. Drop a 1. Drop a 1 if y'all think this is a play. I think it's a play. Drop a 1 if y'all think it's a play.
Well, they're going to look at the motivation, as I mentioned earlier. You know, were there other threats that were coming in throughout the night, whether by text message or online? They'll be scouring all the online postings to see if anybody made any untoward or violent threats towards Drake or anybody that works for Drake or his residents. These are the things that they'll be looking at. They'll be scouring over the security tape to try and get a license plate and a description of that vehicle. And they'll be hunting down that vehicle as well. It may be stolen, it may not, we don't know. All of this is very early on. They'll be looking at the ballistics that remain at the scene, whether it's shell casings or if there's a bullet that's been retrieved from the victim or at the scene. They'll be looking at that, comparing that to other crimes that are out there now. So there's lots of steps to be taken. There's going to be interviews of Drake's staff and neighbors and canvassing of that nature. So it's going to take some time. This is not new. We have seen this not only in this city, but certainly in the United States, where there have been feuds between rappers who have filmed a video in somebody else's quote unquote territory. And the response has been violence. We've seen murders related to the industry and people who are involved in that genre of music. And we've seen a lot of murders in the States that have been related to that. So this is not new. But it is obviously upsetting, and it will be thoroughly investigated, I'm sure, by them.
And I'm well aware that this next question is of a speculative nature, but we understand Drake is cooperating with police, but we don't know if he was there.
That's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned as we attempt to commune with the devil.
This morning at about...
And see, I know some people going to say, Drake cooperating with the authorities. Drake a snitch. That's not no snitch. His security guard got shot. The house got shot up. That's not no snitch. Man, I'm telling y'all, I be wishing that I could just snap my fingers and the whole street shit, all that hood shit would disappear. I'd be just like, God, somebody, just erase this street shit. Do y'all realize what the streets has not only done to the black community, but do y'all realize what the streets have done to the world? I ain't saying be no square. I ain't saying don't party and have a good time. I'm not saying that. I keep stressing, move accordingly. If you gonna be out there and you out there, move accordingly. This is corny. It's lame.
2 a.m., police were called to a shooting at the residence behind me here. When officers arrived, they located a male who was suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. That male was taken to hospital in serious condition. That person was working, apparently, as a security guard at the residence. He was standing outside of the gates in front of the residence when the shooting occurred. We have individuals who obviously performed the shooting who were seen in a vehicle. I do not have a description of the vehicle or the suspects at this time. I cannot confirm if Drake was home at the time the incident occurred, but I can tell you that we are in contact with his team and they are cooperating. This morning at about 2 a.m.
How y'all feel, man? How y'all feel? How do y'all feel? History repeats itself. So sad. History repeats itself. Facts. Shank Rock, I've lost so many friends and family to the streets. Blue Devil G says, if that man goes unalive, it's going to be bad. David says, maybe it's some crazy fan reacting to all the stupid hype. And that's true. You know, that's like with the Migos. What's the one that lost his life? Which one of the Migos lost his life? You know, and then come to find out, you know, oh, it wasn't even meant for him. It was meant for Quavo. It's. I just don't know, man. I grew up in the Tupac Biggie days. Takeoff. Okay, that's like Takeoff lost his life. You know, at the end of the day, was it worth it? You know, Takeoff lost his life. And, you know, streets talking, it wasn't meant for him. It wasn't for him. I'm a switch the subject just for a second. We're going to come back, but this is some breaking news. Jaguar Wright, Christopher Williams. Let me jump to this real quick, y'all. There's something new from Jaguar Wright.
If you need to record anything over the internet, I cannot think of a more seamless way than...
Once again, this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everything that you hear in this demonstration is alleged. It's all alleged. So this is something new. Jaguar Wright, Christopher Williams confirms. I just want to tap into it for a second, y'all.
Reggie, I know last recording session we spoke about...
Shout out to Reggie Wright.
This girl, Jaguar Wright, who does interviews. And, you know, I know, you know, we know what your response was, but I wanted to see if you saw this video of Christopher Williams where he was performing and he actually spoke on her. Did you see that? And if so, do you have any thoughts on it?
I done said no Diddy, that punk ass nigga. They tell me about that I gave that punk ass nigga some head. Jaguar Wright is a crackhead, but I'm afraid for anyway. I wish a nigga would. I'm from the Bronx. I smack punky ass tomorrow.
No, I didn't, but now I have. And it's so funny. And I know Christopher Williams don't listen to Bomb First and Reggie Wright and all that. But he called it the same thing I am.
All right, y'all. So we are going to move on to our final topic. So this one right here, let me take a drink. So this one right here. So, I want to talk about real quick because Drake had hinted to in an interview with Lil Yachty that he was going to back away from music. He's going to bow out gracefully and stuff like that. I don't believe that. I think probably he's putting out less music, but I don't believe that he's going to retire or anything. Like, that's stupid. That's all for attention. But, so Drake is being exposed by this woman, Olivia Song. So Olivia, like I played you guys a video and I'll play it in a minute. She's been exposing the industry and stuff like that. So she's backing away from Hollywood. She's only doing makeup for people personally, but she's not going to be doing the whole celebrity thing and stuff like that. Now, if you go to her TikTok doesn't have any of this shit on here, but her personal page on Instagram, that's where she talks about it in her stories and stuff like that. And so since she had been exposing the industry, she said Drake has been hitting her up, and that's when she called him a murderous, psychopath, a homosexual psychopath, and all that.
Appreciate the new membership, Yvette C. Appreciate the new membership, Yvette C. If you would like to support the channel, there are different ways you can support the channel. One way you can support the channel, the easiest way is hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to donate to the Cash App is $ERICMCINT. Or if you would like to purchase a membership like Yvette C did, then click on the $, and the $, it will show you how to purchase a membership. Some of my demonstrations are for members only. So by purchasing a membership to the channel, you'll have access to demonstrations that are for members only. Also, you could purchase a super sticker or a super chat. Salute, Miss Parker. Once again, appreciate the membership, Yvette C.
You don't think the wings look right? I think it's a whole back tattoo, so I'll have to see her back. Yeah, I would have to see her back tattoo to really get a good look at it. But here's the video, you guys. You ready?
American Dream is working.
Hold on. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Let's go ahead and get into it. And I want you guys to try to hear what she's saying too, because I picked a few things apart.
American Dream is working hard, creating a family and building from the ground up and giving back and spreading light and love. It is not dumbasses that have never truly achieved shit, but they sell their soul and now they're getting played by the strings like puppets to mind control society. That is not the American dream. I'm sorry to inform you. So shout out to everyone doing right. And if you have a problem with me exposing your fades that could not beat me in a test of intelligence, I mean, hey, that's your business, not mine. And nobody is going to check me because everybody and their mama know my mouth is too smart and it's too quick and my mind is too sharp. And I will flip the script on you quick. I'm a tax-paying, hard-working citizen with accolades. They're not. They're dick suckers. Remember how Wayfair was selling the things with the names of the kids? There are millions of kids being kidnapped and trafficked each year, and the elite are using them in rituals, using their blood. They are using them for entertainment. They have Hunger Games that they do, where they send kids into the woods. They have kids do things to each other that they should be doing. They have kids doing things with animals. This is what the inside source of the Illuminati told me. And she's seen it. She's seen it happen. I had to change the subject because it is just a hard truth for a passionate mother like myself. I mean, I'm in my right mind to go find them motherfuckers. She's given me names of people I've been around, people whose house I've been to, people who have been to my house, people who have been around my son, who know that these things are happening and who even participate in them, y'all. I couldn't tell you. Man, I couldn't tell you guys what the emotion is that I'm feeling. It's past anger. It is best I stay in my house because if I ever see any one of these people, I'm going straight to jail. I'm not dealing with a certified lover boy. I'm dealing with a certified narcissist, sociopathic, murderous, homosexual psychopath.
Everyone deserves a healthcare partner who's there for what matters.
Hey, it's Cosmo Solutions 8, and I'm so excited to announce that we are rolling out a full suite of...
So, and yes, this was on TikTok. The channel that you want to follow is Love with 2 E's, K98, and K is spelled with 2 Y's. So 2 E's on Love, 2 Y's on K, and then 98, the number 98. So, so a few things. So a lot of y'all have compared her to Jaguar. I see somebody say it's Black YouTube, like for testimonies for these shows. But it does seem that we get wrapped up in these people that are exposing the industry. And I am completely fine if you want to expose the industry and stuff like that. I'm okay with it. But I think we have to start vetting these people. When Jag came out originally, we started, really hyping her up, and we was really into what she was saying. Now, is she completely lying? No. However, a lot of the shit that Jag has said, we already heard before. It's not really a shocker. Jag just placed herself in there. Like, she'd be like, yeah, I was in the room. But we know Jag was not in the room. But anyway, this girl is now doing it. And yeah, she did do makeup for Lil' Kim. She was also best friends with that one chick that's named Moneybagg Yo, named Ari. She was best friends with her and her makeup artist, and they had this big blowout over money and jealousy and all that stuff. So she's one of those girls that hang out with the popular girls that are popular for no reason. So
I want to tap into this, y'all. I want to tap into this.
As much as rap lyrics tend and seem to be pure fiction nowadays due to the lifestyles fans expect from artists, whether lavish and or violent, Drake has most definitely made his landmark and group affiliations known via repeated verbiage throughout his tenuous career. For as we all know, even if you're not a fan, Drake labels himself the Sixth God. And that's for a reason. Essentially crowning himself the king of the 6 distinct municipalities of Toronto, his home city located in Canada. And from the looks of it, nobody of competing stature has even rebelled against his self-proclamation of this title. As many already know, Drake was not necessarily raised in the streets. In fact, originally, he earned his claim to fame by playing the character of Jimmy Brooks in previously popular show Degrassi, allowing him to live most of his childhood with his mother in the rather affluent Forest Hill district in Toronto. Although, he didn't move to this district until the 6th grade, where he allegedly split a home with another family and his mother. Before this, he grew up on Weston Road, a much worse area ridden with crime in some parts. Drake's mother was a Jewish woman that did anything she could to give him the best opportunities. He spent summers in Memphis with his father.
So how many of y'all knew that Drake's mother was Jewish? How many of y'all knew that Drake's mother was Jewish?
Could account for some of his musical influences later in his life, but given his upbringing, his involvement in the darker side of Toronto seems to be similar to a mafia-type character, which Drake has actually alluded to in many of his songs, such as in tracks like Mob Ties, where he specifically references it, whereby he controls his city by enlisting all the major street leaders under his payroll to protect his position of wealth and power, whether the payment be with actual capital or other methods, and then utilizing the funds earned throughout his overtly successful career via the music industry, all the while keeping his distance away from any illegal activity to remain a law-abiding citizen, as well as maintain favor in the general public that perceives him as a rather unproblematic rapper, and therefore attracts a wider appeal, to further fuel the underworld criminal organization system he may or may not be involved in back in Canada.
Could that have something to do with the shooting that took place at his Toronto home? Maybe it's not a play. Maybe this was the real deal. Maybe this was something that really, really happened. Maybe it wasn't a play. Maybe it don't have anything to do with Drake's and Kendrick's beef. There's more.
But in more recent years, Toronto has been perceived as one of the most prolific cities at the forefront of contemporary hip-hop, pop, and R&B genres, due to the emergence and public showcase by Drake, The Weeknd, and many alike. But well below the surface, the Canadian city has a deep-rooted history of gang violence spanning decades, including classic disputes between the Crips and Bloods, Crips versus Crips, Sick Thugs versus both. Currently, altercations typically linked to neighborhood rivalries, but before all this existed a war between two cultures, Jamaicans and Somalis, both of which Drake has paid homage to within his lyrics and influences. Most notably, on the song Draft Day, Drake explicitly rapped, "Know some Somalis that say we got it wallahi," a Somali dialect of the Arabic word wallah, meaning I swear to Allah or God, whereas in the latter half of his career, inflections of dancehall and Afro beats are easily recognizable in his discography, even in some of his biggest hits on Views and More Life, using blatant terminology as song names such as blem, a Jamaican term for tobacco or weed, hence why in the past, Drake has been accused of being a culture vulture for utilizing accents and phraseology from other heritages that he's not necessarily related to. But now with the knowledge of his home city, Toronto's history, it all makes a lot more sense. Unfortunately though, his influences do not stop at music and vernacular. The Halal Gang is a collective of rappers formed by Puffy L's, Smoke Dogg, Moji, Safe, and Mustafa, whose group name derives from another Arabic word, halal, meaning lawful in honor of their Muslim roots. Its members all lived in Regent Park, a predominantly East African and Caribbean populated downtown neighborhood of Toronto. Puffy L's and Moji were both Somali, Smoke Dogg Jamaican, and Safe Eritrean, all practicing Muslims. You may already recognize Moji and Safe, whom have both received rather public cosigns from Drake. In one of Drake's biggest singles, Summer 16, he rapped, Moji with the dance moves, a direct reference to the fellow Canadian rapper he once helped in financing his album. He also shouts out Moji on another hit in collaboration with Future called Jumpman, wherein Drake modified one of his prior lines, switched it up with the left like Ginobili, and even repped the song's coin dance move in another track, Energy. Throughout the early 2010s, Halal Gang gained recognition by other prominent rappers such as A$AP Ferg, as well as the internet with various music videos surpassing millions of views. Although the group is primarily known for their music releases, Halal Gang is said to have originally stemmed from being a criminal organization rivaling another Toronto gang, Sick Thugs, that ended with the passing of one of its members, Ruck. Shortly afterwards, Halal Gang focused on music around 2010. Though past feuds may have sought revenge. For on June 30th of 2018, one of its original members, Smoke Dogg, was killed, seemingly targeted in a shooting in front of a Toronto nightclub in broad daylight. Fans speculated the hit was retaliation for filming a scene of his recent Fountain freestyle music video in front of a rival gang's housing project, allegedly instigating a neighborhood war that had been building tension for some time. Drake paid his respects following his Scorpion album release the day prior to his fallen friend on his Instagram story questioning all the violence. For Smoke Dogg actually accompanied Drake on 15 different dates on his Boy Meets World European tour in 2017, as with many other Drake associates that we will be speaking on later. Ironically, 2 weeks earlier, XXXTentacion was murdered in a targeted homicide and attempted armed robbery, instigating conspiracies that Drake was behind the hit due to a triple X reference in one of his song lyrics in relation to their dispute on social media, whereby X accused Drake of stealing his flow on recent release, KMT, from X's song, Look at Me. 4 months prior to his death, X jokingly posted on his Instagram story, if anyone tries to kill me, it was Drake, inciting fans to...
How many of y'all knew that? So, is Drake the choir boy? Is Drake the non-street dude that many believe him to be? Or I've done and I've been seeing that what Blue Devil G says, them gangs in Toronto ain't no joke. In my opinion, gangs nowhere ain't no joke. Gangs all over ain't no joke. I know Toronto, as we just heard, they heavy with it over there. And so could this shooting be a retaliation? Could it be something other than a play? Could it be something other than a beef between him and Kendrick? There's more.
To conjure up such theories. And within the past couple of months, Drake has actually been called as a witness by X's murder trial's defense, although likely an attempted scapegoat by the actual perpetrators. But given Drake's countless references to his connections to the streets, the speculation was actually able to hold weight. The Jungle, commonly known as one of Drake's most popular song titles from the If You're Reading This It's Too Late mixtape, is yet another ode to his city. More specifically, the neighborhood in which one of his most prolific alleged shooters resides, Hassan Top 5 Ali, famously mentioned on another one of Drake and Future's collaborations called Grammys, by which the rapper whispered in double entendre, top 5, top 5, top 5, while at the same time claiming his spot within the top 5 lineup of rappers in history. Top 5 is also known as Shirt Off Shawty, after gaining popularity from posing in comedic selfies with celebrities while unencumbered by torso restrictions. Quite a personality, for his name also spread throughout the neighborhood and corners of the internet after spreading rumors that his older sisters were romantically involved with Drake, and alluding to the possibility of a collab with Drake releasing at some point in time. But it's almost been a decade. Regardless, he and Drake still remain friends. Understandably, because Top 5 definitely has Drake's best interests at heart, although his execution may be a bit off. Rummaging through the treacherous streets of the jungle your entire life will do that to you. For the Toronto demon himself, quite literally, admitted to catching...
If you're a business owner, then animated explainer
What do y'all
videos
think?
are the best way to capture attention.
Bodies and getting away with it on DJ Akademiks' Twitch livestream, in addition to confirming his explicit title as Drake's shooter and his leadership of the GGG criminal organization in Toronto.
So you say I'm looking at the wrong artist in Toronto then?
You want to know who to look in Toronto?
Talk to me, brother.
Flipper.
Flipper.
But that was my big dog. They just arrested him for 2 bodies.
What?
But they freed up his little bro. His little bro is part of GGG. He just beat a body.
Wait, what's GGG?
Go get him, gang.
Go get him, gang. All right. So y'all are the top shotters when it comes to Toronto.
Let me tell you what happened in Toronto. Books, you know Books, right?
Yeah.
He got a leg of us.
Oh,
Cry.
Whoa.
Crying.
No, whoa.
There's a next rapper named Snoopy. You can go on YouTube. I took his chain. You them all.
You took his chain?
And I told him I'm going to take it in 14 days online. And I got it on the 9th day.
Oh, man, on the 9th day of Christmas, Jesus.
There's an artist named, what's the artist that got shot?
Yo, you terrorizing the city.
I'm a fucking demon. Talking about. I hang with demons. Flipper just got caught with 2 bodies. He's going to beat it in the same. My homie just beat a body, sent you GGG.
Y'all got some good
Bro,
lawyers.
they all just beat bodies. They don't have evidence on us, you know what I mean?
You're no witnesses, right? No, of course.
Yo, okay. I was informed the police is watching this, so I don't know what the fuck happened to those guys. Really.
Like, but I'm not even gonna react. I mean, you know the folks watching. You know the law watching. Now you on social media, you on these platforms bragging about your gang, bragging about, how they beat bodies.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is going to go viral, so just watch what you say. I don't want to black. I don't say something like black.
Drake?
I love black.
Drake? That's Big Dog.
Oh, Drake, Big Dog.
Big Dog. That's Big Dog. See, if somebody that doesn't like Drake comes to the city, we're taking care of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we're picking up. Drake had shouted you out before. That's how some people knew you.
That's Big Bro.
So he saw
every night text message.
He saw you moving in the city and he saw you working and he gave you a shout out.
No, just that I knew him before the rap shit. Like I used to see him here and there. You know what I mean? And then now it's a love right now. It's like I'm a shooter basically.
Yeah. So you the streets. You're the streets.
Yeah, I'm Drake shooter.
Oh shit.
I'm not lying to you. Anybody disrespect Drake, I'm shooting.
Damn. Okay.
The evidence aligns with his statements too, in that in February of 2021, Top 5 was arrested for a targeted homicide. Although originally, he was only charged as an accessory, not the actual shooter, but the charges were upgraded to a first-degree murder after cutting off his ankle monitor while being out on bond, and doing the race to later be detained in Los Angeles shortly after revealing his location at a studio on Instagram. Perhaps not the best person to have as your top shooter. Drake's OVO affiliations are not limited to the aforementioned. In fact, I'm sure the most public are the least of worries for any opposition. But we have to work with whatever evidence we have on the internet. Anthony Hush Paulman, nickname likely acquired from how little information about him resides on the internet. Yet all the information we really need to know about this mysterious individual derives from Drake's own words within the lyrics of Miss Me, released in 2010, wherein he raps, "Hush has got a gun," showcasing how long Drake's connections have been rooted within the Toronto street scene. Also a past solo artist, namely Young Tony, from a 2000s rap group called Deep Pockets, his words describe the violent tribulations of his city. Only one interview exists under his rap pseudonym, in which he hinted at his past. "I grew up all over the city, mainly in Scarborough though, but I was always the crazy one out of the group. People called me Treach while I was growing up. My real friends still do. I got that name from my boys because I used to do some mean shit to people, so they started calling me Tony Treacherous, Treach for short. But for obvious reasons, I couldn't use that name in the rap game, so one day someone called me Young Tony. I just stuck with it, but on the street, they still call me Treach." Hush was once a rapper and at one point rumored to be one of Drake's ghostwriters. Due to Drake's previous tweets announcing he was the studio with names such as Young Tony, amidst being credited almost every track from Drake's Nothing Was the Same and Take Care albums. Hush has also worked with Beyonce in the past, so no.
Could this be the downfall of Drake? Could this shooting, because we're listening, and Drake is definitely affiliated with them folks. He's definitely affiliated with them folks that's on Demon Time. He's definitely affiliated with some shooters, some steppers. He's definitely gang affiliated. So is this shooting that took place with his security guard being shot, could this be a domino effect of the downfall of Drake? What do y'all think? Because it's incidents like this that happens. Most people that I know, most people get jammed up on humbles. Most people get jammed up because most people for a while seem to get away. And the dirt just keep piling up and piling up. And then one day, an incident occurs that's out of that person's hand. And then the domino effect takes place. I want y'all to pay close attention to the shooting, because could it be a small piece? Could it be the tumbling block of Drake's downfall? There's way more that I want y'all to listen to. I'm not going to be able to cover it all in this demonstration, but I'm going to try to cover as much as I can. Listen, y'all. Listen.
No doubt he is involved in some musical capacity. Drake even included him in his top 5 rappers list, albeit potentially a joke. Though more recently, he has reportedly been portrayed as more of a, quote, advisory role within the OVO conglomerate, as Drake has recruited more writers. For what many fans do not realize is a rather common practice in hip-hop is to include friends and family in writing credits to keep them on payroll in perpetuity, potentially to fulfill other services. Nonetheless, in this case, still pure speculation. A more notable rapper due to his popular single in collaboration with both Drake and Future a few years back, titled DNF, Preem, formerly known as P. Rain, is connected to Drake through his older brother, Guillotine, an old friend, both of which were founding members of Reps Up Gang, a street movement in G-Way, short for Kingston Galloway, an East End neighborhood in Toronto known for its high crime rate and gang activity, turned record label through diplomatic alliances with OVO, Young Money, The Weeknd's XO, and other Canadian associations. In fact, in Drake's No Long Talk from More Life, he mentioned briefly, if Gilla calls shots, no questions. hinting at Gilla's power within the underworld of Toronto. Gilla also appeared in a scene of Nav's Price on My Head music video during The Weeknd's feature, stating, "People on your side, they will ride for me too," subliminally informing Drake that he shares one of his so-called shooters. Preem, on the other hand, has had many troubles with the law, including his arrest for cocaine trafficking in 2004 and 9 counts of weapon possession after 3 firearms were found in his vehicle in 2008, possibly a plug for the organization. What I'm finding is everybody has a specific role. Another OVO affiliate, and actually signee in this case, associated with the phrase "no long talk" is the OVO rapper Travis Savory, or more commonly referred to as Baka Not Nice, for obvious reasons. Drake name dropped him in the song, which seemed to be an audio showcase of all of his, let's say, talent. Starting off the song with the first bar, "That's Baka. He a no long talker, quick to let that motherfucking tech slam." With his criminal record littered with convictions of armed robbery and assault, as well as charges that have since been dropped in the realms of procuring, essentially being a pimp, and human trafficking, his addition to Drake's company definitely enhanced the label's street credibility when he was released in 2015. And while the two rappers have collaborated on music in the past, such as on the song "Live Up to My Name," even Baka labels himself primarily as one of Drake's goons that step up if and when needed.
You know, obviously I come out of jail, I got the street credibility, I meet Drake, and honestly, it was just like, it was so organic, like we just gelled immediately, like, you know, like I can't tell you why he chose to keep having me around, or why I kept, why I chose to be around him and want to flex with them. There was no real reason, you know, other than it was just organic, to be honest with you. So it just built from that, and I labeled myself. He didn't label me as his goon. I labeled myself as his goon, just so that it's stated, you know. I labeled myself as his goon. So that means, like, if you...
What financial advice would you give to your 20-year-old self?
Don't spend everything you earn, save.
If I started doing that,
Yeah, we gotta come to you and something happens to Drake. We don't even really need to get into it, but yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so that's how it started, and then like the friendship grew into like basically a brotherhood, bro. Like honestly, man, like I call him, I'll message him at 3 a.m, you know, when I come home from the studio and just be like, yo, you know, God bless you, you know, father. I call him father, you know, and that's just a sign of respect, you know, in Jamaica, you know. I'd be like, yo, you know, respect that, you know, because, yo, you gave me a chance, you know. You could have turned your back on me so many times and you didn't, you know. You're a real friend, and I feel like I need to let him know that, you know.
So if you couldn't already tell, it seems to be a trend that many of the professionals on Drake's payroll have implicit responsibilities aside from legal titles paid through quarterly music.
What do y'all think? What are y'all thoughts? Drake's getting more than he paid for to be gangster. Drake is definitely affiliated. I mean, we talking Drake. So now when you listen to his songs, he make reference to, in our terminology, he make reference to some gangster shit. Is it worth it? I'll ask the question again, and y'all let me know. Do y'all think that the shooting of one of Drake's security guard was a play? Do you think Drake was behind it? Do you think that it had something to do with the Drake and Kendrick Lamar rap beef? Or could it just be some Toronto street shit? Let me know what y'all think. Once again, I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute to everybody that's catching this on the replay. Salute to everybody that's watching from the clouds. Salute to all of my moderators. Salute to all of my new subscribers. I really appreciate all of my new subscribers. Salute to the whole Rock Squad. David says now would be a perfect time for his enemies to make a move. And I gotta agree with you, David. I gotta agree with you. Now would be the perfect time for his enemies to make a move. So I'll see everybody on the next demonstration. Tomorrow I will pull up at 5. Blue Devil G says it's a Toronto street thing. After hearing what I heard, I believe that it's a strong possibility this all got to do with some Toronto street shit. 80s Baby says definitely not a play. They are truly beefing. I think there's some Toronto street shit. But then who knows? Who knows exactly what it is? We're going to be paying close attention to this story. Salute, Londa. Salute, Londa. Appreciate you for pulling up. Salute, Londa. We're going to be paying close attention. It's so much that's going on with the P. Diddy. You know, it's just so much going on. Donald Trump. It's a lot. Oh, I made 6,000 subs. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody for helping me reach 6,000 subscribers. Shout out to the Rock Squad. Shout out to everybody that helped me reach 6,000 subscribers. If we got 6,000, we can get 7,000. If we get 7, we can get 8, and we can go more, and keep on and keep on. Appreciate that Blue Devil G, 80s Baby, and Londa. We 6,000 subscribers, y'all. I appreciate all of y'all, and I want all of y'all to know that I really, really appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all support. Like I said, I understand finances just ain't there for some of us. The easiest way to support the channel, pull up. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. You know, chop it up with me for a few minutes. You know, if you could go the whole hour, 2 hours with me, I really would appreciate it. But pull up on me. Chop it up with me. You know, that's the easiest way to support me. Like I said, I understand for some of us, the finances is just not there. And I know if the finances were there, I know y'all would support. So I tell everybody when they be like, how can I support you, Shank? Just hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Everything else in due time, everything else will fall in line. It'll all fall in order. So, but I'm not going to hold y'all that much longer. Once again, I appreciate everybody. Appreciate that suntan. Appreciate that suntan. I appreciate that. So I will see everybody tomorrow at 5. Remember, tomorrow's demonstration will be at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Salute everybody.